So let's take a use case first before starting up the class. Yashua, there? You able to hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
So, like, let me take a small use case. Like, let us say there is a class, right? And you have something called students in it, right? Some students, some 10 students in it, right? Just okay. So if you want to create a class or a program to store student IDs, student will have their own IDs, right? Unique IDs. One ID will not be same as other, right? Like,
yeah.
So how we'll do in programming, we'll do something like int, let us say s1 student 1 is equal to, let us say his ID is 12, right? Or int s2 student 2 is equal to 13, right? Right here what we are doing is we are creating 10 different variables, right? We are just creating 10 different variables to store
10 values.
a value, right? Like 45, let us say. So now I think you understood what is this int, right? Which means I'm just
It's a data type, right?
Exactly, yeah, data type int where I'm storing the ID of student, right? ID of student here.
Yeah.
ID of 10 students are I'm creating 10 different integer variables, right? Like let us say if there are 100 students, what should I do? I have to create again some 100 value, 100. So it again goes to some s100, let us say, right? Is equal to some, let me say some 125, right? It goes on. Now let us see one thing. So there are 100 students and we have defined IDs in 100 different variables, right? Now when I want to edit 67th student's ID, what should I do? I have to go to each and every variable till 67th variable, right? Sometimes we just wrote the name as s1, right? Or here I can also write it as some with the name with some other thing, right? I'll just say some I, right? Or I'll just say x, right? I'll just take ABC, right? Something I can have any number, any name, right? Any name for it. Yeah. Now, so at this time, is it possible to get into 67th student and change his ID? It is possible,
No, it's
but
not, because
it's so cumbersome.
It's like you have to go to each and every.
Yeah, exactly. You have to go to each and every, and you have to check whether that is.
Yeah, the 67th student or not.
Yeah, that is the correct ID of 67 student or not, and then you have to edit, right? It will take so much of time. Fine. Think about there are 1000 students and you have to edit some 867 students. What happens? It's like it will be like so impossible. And what you are doing, you are just keeping your variables on and on and on, right? Which is again not a problem, not possible for you. And again, there is one more thing here. See, daily, like in each and every academic year, so there will be so many admissions going on, right? You cannot, the class or a school management will not come to you and ask daily to add a variable, right? What they want is they want some generic solution. Am I right? They want some generic solution all. But here, what we are doing every time, if you have programmed something in Java for a school to save the students' IDs, you will not give in this way, right? If you give in this way, it is a bad way, because there is ID. You know that the ID will be of int type, right? And you have to save multiple student IDs, right? So for that, in order to get out of this redundancy, we have something called arrays, right? So what is an array? Array is nothing but it's like it is the same meaning. Array is nothing but a collection of same data types. Collection of same data types, which means how I can define arrays. I can define array I int. Let me take a student as s of 100, which means this single int s can save up to 100 different integers at one value, which is s. Fine. Any confusion here?
No.
Yeah. So this is nothing but your int array, which saves. So s can be saved with only integers, where I can use this s with 100. So this 100 is nothing but, when you actually, let me just take this in a pictorial way. So when you just say int, right? So if you remember, int is 4 bytes, right? If you remember, it's a 4 bytes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So let me just draw it in a pictorial way. You'll understand an array first. So each and every item is saved as a different memory, like int s of 100, in the sense, like 100 into 4, what is 400 bytes. So this only one variable will have 400 bytes of memory, where it can save 100 different values in it. So how it is saving? Let me show you. Let me take up this. Now, when I said some int s of 100 or anything like s of, let me take 3, like where I'm asking my integer array. So here s is an array of type integer, fine, which is s is an array variable of type integer, which can store up to 3 values. So here, whenever you say something like int I is equal to 10, right, which means it is 4 bytes, right, which means
it's only storing one value, right?
Yeah, this is storing only one value, fine, yeah, only one value, and this value will be saved as a separate memory stack, which is a box will be created, which is a memory will be created, and 10, right. This is same as C++, and this memory will be there. Now when I say s of 3, which means 3 parallel memory will be created in this way, right, and 3 values will be saved. So how to feed values? I'll show you. Let us say there are 3 values, like 5, 12 and 90, right. So there are 3 values, right. Each and every memory is represented by something called index, right, which is 0th index, first index and second index. If there are 3 values, then 0, 1, 2, and if there are some 5 values, again the stack will grow to 2 more, which is 3 and 4, right. You can have more 1 and some 9 values. So this is nothing but your array, right, which is each and everything is different here, which is when we wrote something called s1 s2, right. So this represents the same, s1 is here, s2 is here and all, but instead of the separate variable, we have taken one variable which is s and saved all the 100 items, right. Now we know that s of 100, and it goes on here actually, and there will be, what will be a 100 item here, will be 99, am I right? Because if I am taking s of 3, the index value will start from 0, right. So in the same way, if I take s of 100, right, student of 100, or a variable array of 100 items, it will start from 0 and it will go on, and the last item will be 99. Is that correct, Shiva?
99.
Right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Now, so let us say there is some value here. Now, is it possible to edit 67th student's ID here now? It's very easy, right?
Yeah.
So we know
Yeah.
that.
We can just go S of 67, right?
Perfect. We can just go S of 66 and edit it. That's it.
Oh, sorry, 66. Oh, because it's a zero.
Exactly.
The first
So
memo.
yeah, in the same way, if you have 1,000 students and if you want to edit 678 sky, yeah, you can just say 677.
Yeah.
Am I right? So now with arrays, it's more easy now. So that's why we have something called arrays. Now let us see how to define array and how to work with arrays, right? Now let me take a new let me take a new class here. New class, some name here. I'm just giving some name. I'm just giving some CLS, something like
Array.
arrays. Right. So we'll check out what it is. Now let me write a program here again. So your program should start with main here, right?
Main, yeah.
Yeah, that should be a starting point here, main.
Some places I have seen this static and then blah blah blah.
I'm sorry?
Some places like online, I mean some other, I read a couple of books.
Okay.
I was trying to read. I
Okay.
was just trying to read, but the first line it was like something like, yeah, this one, the public static.
Yeah, okay, okay. You'll understand this public and static words in classes. Yeah, not a problem. And I hope
Alright.
this term you would have understood now, right? This is nothing but
Yeah,
a
yeah,
term.
yeah, kind of void. Yeah.
Sure. So
I remember this thing now. To start any program, we need this line, so I kind of,
exactly.
just remember that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's okay, sure. No, I don't want to confuse it now. Okay. Now, so you have a main here, right? So
Okay.
how to write an array is int which is s of some, let me take 3, right? This is a value.
Okay.
So this is a declaration of an array. Now here, so you can write arrays in two different ways, which is int. I can also write int of 100 and s. Both are same, right? Either I can mention this array to this variable or sorry, array to this derivative. Not a problem. That both means the same. Fine.
Okay.
And basically in Java, so there are 3 different rules to work with arrays. They are, first rule is array. In order to use array, you have to declare array, right? And you have to construct array, and you have to do some initialize array. Fine. Now what is array declarations? So this is nothing but a declaration of array. These are pretty simple, right? Array declare is nothing but we have just declared an array into different types. You can choose any one now. Now what is construct an array? So here an array, here you have to construct an array before using it. So how to construct this? You have to use a keyword called is equal to new int. Fine. So this is how you actually define your arrays. Fine. I'm sorry. Right. So this is how you define, which is int s of 3 or int s. You can directly say int s is equal to I want new array of integer of 3 values, which means you are actually creating a stack memory here, right? Whatever you can see here, it will be created once you use something called new. You will be understanding what is new actually in our upcoming classes, because this new is used to create some objects. Till now we have learned something called classes, right? We will be learning what is an object in upcoming class. We will be taking up complete what is class and object, right? Okay. So new.
Why did you remove the 3 there?
I'm sorry, this 3 here. So basically this is a normal declaration which we have. Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah,
So in order to construct, it should be empty, right?
exactly.
The square bracket should be empty.
Yeah, in order to construct it, you have to remove this and you have to give the size here at construction place.
Oh, okay.
Fine.
Okay.
This is the way. Int
Yeah.
s, right? So now it knows that yes, your s is of size 3, right? Now this is your construction part, which is a second part. So these two are done, right? Declaration and construction are done. So here you can also mention this in this way, I said, right? You can also use this, not a problem. Both are same. Fine. So now how to initialize? Initialize is nothing but feeding a value into this, which is I want to feed values. How to feed values? Again, if you can see this is something called 0 index 1 and 2, right? If it is s of 3, which is 0, 1 and 2, fine?
2.
Which means here s will be having 3 different indices, which is 0, 1, 2, right? So how to feed values? You have to take s of, again 0 is my index, right, is equal to, let me say 12. So these are you feed values to an array.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
And again s of
And then you
1.
could go S of 1 and S of 2.
Exactly. And s of 3 or sorry, s of 2 is equal to some 56. Fine. So this is what we call it as initialization of an array. Fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So now this declaration is done now, right? So now how to get the value? Let us say I want to get my 60. We said 67th, right? Let us say I want to get some second student ID here. So I want to get s.
So that's to be S of 1
is equal to, I can say, what is the second student index here? It's 1, right? Perfect, right? Yeah. Now I'll just say sys out of x, which means I'll be getting, let us say, I'll just say second student's ID, right? Don't get confused about why I'm doing this. I'll be explaining that for you, right? I just wanted to represent this, so let me run this.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. So can you see this?
Yes.
So in println, I hope you remember this. This is a string.
Yeah.
I'm
This
just
is
adding.
system out print. Yeah.
Exactly. It is same as cout, right? Which is you give a string plus some value, which is here you can see second student's ID is 34, which is 34, right? So this is nothing but your an array, right? This is how we declare arrays. Now you can grow this arrays to any number of things, and you have to remember that. Now let me take one more thing. Can I give s of 3 here is equal to some 100, some or some 134? Can I give this?
Yeah, you can.
Like I said, the array is of size 3, right? Okay, let me run this first once. Can you see this? A red error came. So this is nothing but an error, exception. Here, can you see array index out of bounds?
Oh, because you did not declare it. You did not
Exactly.
construct a new one.
Exactly. Because here, this can take only 3 values. Fourth value is not allowed at all.
Yeah.
If I do some 4 here, yes, you are right there. If I run this, then I got a second ID, right? In the same way, now you have 4 values here, right? Now in the same way, let us say, if I say s of 4, is that possible?
No, it's not.
No, because I am trying to access 5th element. Am I right? 4 is nothing but
Yes.
5th element of 3. Let me run this. Can you see here again? It again says array of index and array size is only 4. Complete 4. Now you are not supposed to use this. So that's why you have to do something called 3 at least. And run. Right? 134. So that is how we work with arrays. Now here in arrays you have some properties again, which is you can get the length of array. How to get the length? Let me just take one more variable, which is int some I is equal to, I want a length of array, which is s dot. If you click on s dot, see here you can get so many internal methods, right? This is nothing but a length. If I take length, right, So which means I am getting what is the length of this. So what is the length in the sense how many values it can save, right? So let me print this out, and you'll see what is that. Let me print I here. Let me run this. Can you see here? So
134.
S, yeah, no, here 4. You have got first 4, which is nothing but a length here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Let me write it as length. And now run this. So you can see length is 4, which is length of S. It means how many values or integer values it can save is 4. That is what it is. And next we got something called second student ID, which is 34 again. Even if you are adding so many values here, second will not change, right? So that's why you have added more. You have added more, like 5, right? And you have added some S of 4 is equal to 179. Doesn't matter, right? If you run this, so your length will become 5, and but second student ID is still same, right? Which is,
I have a question here.
yeah, sure.
Okay, I see that you're constructing the array, right?
Yeah.
But why do you again need the length? Because you already know how much it is, right?
Okay.
Like,
I mean, why do you need the length in the sense? Let us say I know that I've just confined my length of an array to 3 previously, right? To 3 previously. Am I right? So, but actually what I want is I want to store more values. So what I have to do is you have to increase the size there. But anyways, you are storing each and everything in here, right? Which means, let us say you have 100 students in your class, but you know that it can grow in future. So what you will do? You just type in 1000 here, right? If I type in 1000, so whenever you add some item till 1000 items, it will accept, right? Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we just give 1000 and run this. It will give the same. Length is 1000 and second ID is 34. You can add this until 1000 items. You can mention that. You can mention the upper bound, which is maximum value, and you can go into this. Yeah. So what was the is that the direct question which you have asked, or
no, actually no. Like, why do we need the S length?
Why do we
Like,
need
what is the because you already mentioned that you have the new constructed array is consists of 1000 numbers or
okay
1000 students, right?
okay
But when do you use the S length or the length of the array?
yeah, we don't need this length. No, but let us say this is in some other, okay, I understood why you are asking for length. Why we are doing this is, let us say when we come to loops, let us say we are dynamically adding each and every ID here. Like, I'm just using a loop here and adding. Can I show you some loop here? So don't get confused. Yeah. I'll just show you some loop here.
No.
Yeah. I'll just say, like, I'll just write a loop here till this is nothing but, see, I can take my length of this and let me just say, right, and let me just say S of, right here I am passing through I, which is I is equal to, let me just keep some value I here again. Now here, when I'm looping in the sense, for loop is nothing but, you can loop in continuously from 0 till some length. So I'm taking from here. So 0 is nothing but again I, and I'm taking the same index to add it. Now let me just print them. For I or L is it, let me take sys out of S or I or L. So let me just give a break here, sys out some, okay, let me take some meaningful value which is 5. Okay, so now so when I'm looping this, I don't know how many items I can store, right? So when I'm looping here, I don't know how many items I can store. because whenever I change this, I don't want to change, in each and every part of program. So now let me just check out this. Let me just write one more break here and run this. When I run this, can you see here, it automatically added some 5 values, right? And when we came here, right, and okay, s of l, right, s of l, length of student, yeah. So can you see this, we have added some values here, and when you try to retrieve, we got only 5 values. Now don't change any program. Let us see what happens when I do it some 10, right? I just change at one place. I'm not touching any other program, right? And I'll go and run. Can you see here, it is dynamically adding something. Let's say some 20. Go on. Am I changing anything internally? So internal part of program, I'm writing it completely generic, which means I just took s dot length. So till my 0 to 20, it will add values until 20, right? And until 20, I'm just printing the same values. So that's why we want something called s dot length. Any doubt in here, Shiva? So don't get confused with the for loop. For loop is nothing but, it will continuously feed your values. Let me just debug it for you. We'll understand this. Let me just take so these internal to program, they don't know. Let me take this 3. Now let me just debug here. Debugging in the sense, I hope you know that, because we have gone through. Yeah. So now can you see
just
here,
step by step?
Yeah. So if you can see here, okay, if F6 there, oh sorry, let me just remove these items, because we have already seen this right now. Okay, now here if you can see, this is a for loop, right? And let me print this I. What is I? This is out of I, right? And run this again. Yeah, now my cursor is here, so I'll go in. Now I is 0, right? So what I'm doing, s of I is 0 again, right? S of 0 is equal to, I'm feeding something called 0. Am I right? I can do that, right?
Yeah.
Because s consists of all indices and it starts from 0. I'm doing the same, right? And I fed s of I as 0. Now again come down, it is looping again, so it is checking what is the length. So length is nothing but 3, right? And again comes back, and I became 1. So s of 1 is equal to 1 again. Now again it comes back and see, it's 2 now. So s of it is I is value is 2. Now here it goes to 2, s of 2, again I'm saving the same value 2 here. Now get back. Now my length here is, can you see here, the length of
so
s,
it's 3.
it's 3, but my 3 is not less than 2, right? Am I right? So what it does,
Yeah.
it will come out, and if you can see here, it will print a break. Now we are trying to read the values now, which is, what is the first value, second value. Now let's go here. L is 0 here, which means I am trying to read s of 0, right? S of 0 is 0. Can you see this? Now again go back, s of 1. S of 1 is 1. S of 2 is 2, right? So now it printed all your 3 values. Fine.
Yeah.
And then we printed something else. So this is how it printed. But now you are changing length at one place here, your size at one place, and remaining the whole. Now see, each and every real-time program.
Oh, no, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand now.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just saving the main value on the s length.
Exactly.
So that when you use it for loop, it can calculate automatically without going to the construction.
Perfect.
Right?
Perfect. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like every time if I use this here, if I can use this 3 here directly, that is not a problem. Now let us say in real time you won't be having only these many, you will be having some hundreds and thousands of line of code, right? Like if you use 3 here, if I change 5 here, will that be feasible? Again I have to go and change 5 every time,
Yeah,
right?
each and every one.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
fine.
for that,
Okay.
what we'll do, we'll just use a slot length. That's it.
Length.
Yeah, where if you
Okay.
change 5, automatically it will affect, right?
I got it.
Yeah, so that is how you know work with arrays. Yeah. Anyways, good that you have asked that question, like why we are confining, because I was about to show you these things. Anyways, right? So that is nothing but a loop. Anyways, you learn looping. I am just
Loop,
not making you understand here. It's a 5 what is these things, but I'll.
Yeah.
But looping is for loop out. But here you can see I'm starting from 0, and you know I'm going till the length of the maximum length of
Okay.
array, right? And I'm just printing something here. So that's how it works, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So here you can see here that continuously I'm adding some 100 values, right? Let me just skip all this. I don't want to print all the values now. Let me just say I want some 1000, right? I'm just feeding some 1000. Let me just remove this, right? And I want here, I said I want 677 value, which is 666, right?
666. Yeah.
Am I right? So now let us see what happens here. If I run this, can you see here? Student IDs will be same, right? Because I'm feeding the same value. Am I right? I'm feeding whatever index is there, even the value is same. I got the 666 student's ID. Fine. Don't confuse with this. What I'm doing here is whatever was the ID. See what actually I'm doing is I'm saving 0 in a 0th index, 1 in a 1th index, 2 in a 2th index. So that is what I'm doing here.
Okay. So
Right?
you're starting from 0.
Yeah, I'm just
I
starting from
understand.
0. Yeah. So that's why we
Zero,
have
okay.
yeah. Okay. Or if you put something called I plus 1 here, which is I'm storing from 1. So if I run this, you can see here, right?
Yeah.
So that's how it goes. And if you just give some random numbers of 2, 30, 23 or something, then your number will change to some other number, which is random numbers you get, right? So this is how you work with arrays. Now I hope you understood arrays, right? And this here every time you have to follow something called, we have seen how to declare. I hope you are now clear with how to construct this array,
Construct,
right?
yes.
Yeah, and how
Yes.
to initialize. Initialize is, we have seen initializing in different way, like s of 0 and all, and we have seen initializing. This is also is nothing but a
For
initialize.
loop.
Initialize, yeah, for loop. Fine.
Yep.
So here,
Perfect.
can I do this s of, let me just take 0th sum again. Can I save a character here? It will not allow. See, type mismatch,
Yeah.
which means in integer array you can save only integers.
Only numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
right. If it is a character array, you can create a same for character array.
So you have to put a char and then you put those brackets.
Perfect.
And then
Char, which is character, right? Braces and some c. Let me take c is equal to new,
yeah.
right? Char of
Char.
some 4. Right? Now this is your character array where you can save. I can say here like c of 0 is equal to some character, some dollar, right? C of 1 is equal to some h. So these are we go, right? So now I'm okay, fine. Character, right? Character is single quotes, double quotes is string.
Okay.
Right? Sorry.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
4 bytes, right?
Now character is 2 bytes, right? Character is
Oh, sorry, 2 bytes. Yeah. 4 bytes is a string.
Yep. No, string don't have any,
Oh, string is a combination of characters.
yeah,
right?
exactly. So if you give bigger string, it depends on how many characters you are providing to the string, right? It will be accumulated,
Okay.
right? Yeah. And you can also create a string array. How? And now it's same string array, right? Let me take it as some variable q is equal to
Yeah.
new string of, let us say 3, right? 3, which means I can actually save q of 0 is equal to, let us just say some,
You can do a sentence, right?
exactly. You can actually give some sentence here, which is just say hey there, right? And you can actually say q dot now, sorry, q of some 1 is equal to something, hello, q of 2, right?
Yeah.
Let's go to hi. That's it. Yeah.
So
You
we can
actually-
use data type.
Sorry.
So we can use any data type for arrays, right?
Yeah, you can use any data type for arrays. So all your 8 data types plus strings, everything you can use in the same way. So whatever we have declared is same for each and everything, and you can even try to read everything in the same manner, right? In the same manner, whatever
Yep.
I done. Let us say we have to read string again. Take some for loop, right? And you can see
Or-
we'll just
yeah.
give q dot length, right? And I'll just say
Yep.
sys out of my q of again I, which means I'm trying to read everything. Let me run this and see. Let me run this. Can you see here? It printed me all
Yep.
things, right? So these are we print now. Here we are not mentioning whether we want 3 or 4 or something else, right? We just gave 3 here when we gave the values, and we just took q dot length. And
So when you give one more value, you change it to 4, and then you don't have to change again, right?
exactly, if you have one more value here, which is 4, right? And you don't have to
Mhm.
change here, right? Because you just add some one more value, which is 3 is equal to some Shiva. You can give anything, right? And just run this up, right? You can get this output, right? The same output as in you have given this, right?
Yep.
So that's how we work with these things now. And now whenever you try to access something, let us say I'm not giving this. So now let me take an example here itself. I increased my size, this string size to 4, right? And I'm not assigning q of 3. Let me run this again. So what happened? Can you see here now? In strings,
It's only reading whatever you have.
exactly, and
And then
whatever we don't have, it will give you as null. Null is nothing but null and void, right? But if you do the same thing with something called character, let me take some like, so you remember we have done something with integers. When you go and read something like so let me just go in here and just say sys out. So here can you see how many characters are there? 4, right?
Yep.
So how many we have assigned? 2. Now can I do this? Sc of 2.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, I can
No.
do it. I can, because see, there is no value. Let me just run this. Can you see here? It gave me nothing. One sec. Let me just
Oh, okay. Because you have the 4 values of
exactly.
character, right? Because that's
So C,
is that correct?
yeah, C can take actually
Because you
4
have
characters.
4
Right?
values.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
But anyways, we gave 2, but doesn't matter because it will give me value is nothing, because by default it is saving nothing, right? And if I give some second value which is 1 here, then it will print some value h, right, which is h. Now the summary is if you go beyond this, let me take it 5, right, then there is a
That
problem,
will give you error, yeah.
right? So that's how it
Yep.
is. So internal to this, till this point you can trace on, but even if you go beyond that, there is a problem. That's why we use something called q dot length. Now can you see here, your string is safe even if you increase this to some 6, the size. If you run this, your
Yep.
string is safe, right? So wherever
Yep.
the value is not there, it will just say null, and I have only 3 values, it will print that.
Can we take off the null? Because we don't.
I'm
Let's
sorry?
say if we don't like the null. If we don't like the word null, can we take it off the program?
Yeah, I didn't get it. Can we take out?
Can we remove
Okay. Can you take? Okay. So now here you can check
And-
that actually. Here you can check if it is null. Don't print it out. Yeah, you can check it. So for that you have to
Okay.
use if condition. Let us say. Let me check it as if is not equal to null. I'll just print if it is not null. Let me just comment this and run this. See.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
What
yeah,
I'm
perfect,
checking is every time I'm checking if it is not null, then only print. Otherwise, don't print.
Okay.
right? So this is
Cool.
what happened. Yeah, you can do whatever you want actually, but I'm not explaining this because we have to explain.
Okay.
I have to explain this for, and if anyways, you understood now fee rate. If is nothing but if you check a
Yeah, yeah.
condition,
Now I understand.
yeah, and then it'll run. Now, anyways, you can skip this, not a problem. Even if I take some 20 here, doesn't matter at all. It will print only 3 because
Yeah.
we are checking every time
Okay,
where it is
yeah.
null or not. Right? So that is how we
Yeah.
work with arrays. Now I hope. So actually, the thing is, what is making class better is your doubts. You know, we are going into, more deep because of your doubts. Good that we are asking, multiple things, before giving.
See,
Yeah.
the thing is, if I don't ask questions, something is stinging my brain,
Exactly.
so
Don't
I
keep it
can't
that
go
way.
further, right?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, you're right.
That's why I keep asking.
Yeah, but that's
why I
correct
keep
actually.
asking questions.
With that itself,
yeah.
you learn more. Anyways, we are recording this, right? Every time you listen to
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
you listen. Yes, yeah, man. I've asked this question. Yeah,
I'll do that.
yeah, right. Fine. So
yeah, that is. Video, I was like, oh, this question I already asked. Now
exactly.
it's clear
Then you will
for
not
me.
get doubt because this video will always be there in your repository, right? So that's how
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Yeah. So now I hope you understood
Okay.
what is an array and how differently we can use arrays, right? Right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Then I hope you are just learning learning up some things here, right? Which are arrays. And,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if you can see, I have written the whole program in main itself. I didn't use anything else, right? So all these things are
Oh,
I
that's
just
right.
wrote everything in main. We can do that. Whatever you want, you can just write it, right?
Yeah.
So let me share this with you, right? And you can just go through this and I think today let us stop here because my intention here was to make you understand arrays, right?
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, you can just try it, go through the video. I'll share it now, right? And I hope tomorrow
Yeah.
I'll see you. And you day after tomorrow, and after that you don't want class, right? Am I right?
No, no.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine,
that's
not
right.
a problem. Let's wind up here, Shiva. Okay, and let me share this
Yeah.
video with you, and you can work on it, right?